Every morning from Monday to Friday, I ride the crowded subway. Commuting by subway is hard. It would be simple if the station closest to my house was the first station or if my workplace was in the outgoing direction because then I could sit on the subway. My commute, on the other hand, is one of the busiest and most congested in New York. I have to rely on station workers to push me into the train so that everyone else in line can get on. The train would then begin to move, but the interior was completely filled. People were so close together in front, behind, and to the left and right that one could sleep standing up and not fall over. It was impossible to read a book or look at your phone. It was as if humans were just pieces of cargo to be transported. My body and mind were fatigued every day from the painful hours spent waiting for the train to arrive at this transfer station. My name is Theodore Miller. I am 39 years old. I am a low-wage employee for a small business. On that day, I was packed on a crowded train. However, something unusual happened that day. I noticed that a woman standing in front of me was holding her mouth with a very pale face. She appeared to be an office worker in her 40s, dressed in a suit. I was worried that she might throw up, so I looked at her cautiously. The woman had sweat on her forehead, and her eyes were closed. She suddenly leaned back and leaned on my shoulder. I called out to her, surprised by her condition. "Excuse me, are you all right?" She covered her mouth with her handkerchief. "Sorry, I don't feel well," she told me. I immediately shouted to the people nearby, "Excuse me, there is someone who is not feeling well. Could someone please give up their seat?" Then the people around me cleared the path a little, allowing us to come closer to a seat. One young woman stood up and offered her seat. "Thank you." Supporting the wobbly woman's shoulders, I took her to that seat. "Would you like me to call an ambulance?" I asked. "It's okay. I'll be fine after taking some medicine and resting a little. Thank you very much." She took out a pill from her bag and put it in her mouth. I quickly pulled out a water bottle from my bag. "Here is some water, if you like. I haven't drunk it yet." She looked a little puzzled. "Thank you very much," she said, but she took it and drank. After that, she tried to get off at the next station. It would have been dangerous if she had staggered and fallen on the platform. I supported her and got off together with her. I set her down on a bench. "What are you going to do now?" I asked her. "I'm going to take a cab home after a short rest. I appreciate everything you've done for me." She looked much better and bowed to me. "Don't mention it. I was just doing what was necessary." "But you were on your way to work, right? Are you sure you're okay?" I huffed when she said that in a concerned tone. She was right. I had an important meeting first thing in the morning that day. I quickly checked my watch and realized it was too late to catch the following train. I had to hurry to the office. It was my fault for leaving home so late that even one late train would make me late. But it was also due to the fact that I got drunk late last night while entertaining a client and returned home in the morning. I usually arrived at work 30 minutes earlier than everyone else and cleaned my desk and prepared documents. However, my desire to sleep in a bit longer this morning won out. But since I was late because I was assisting someone, I figured they'd forgive me if I explained why. I thought so. "Well, I'm in a hurry, so excuse me," I said, about to leave the woman. But she said, "Wait a minute." She stopped me. "I am sorry, but I'd like to thank you properly another time. Could you please provide me with your contact information?" "Oh no, that's not necessary. You don't need to thank me," I replied. I waved my hand to the side in front of my face. Just as she was about to say more, the next train entered the platform. "Oh well, I'll take this one. Please take care of yourself," I said, jumping into the open door. When I arrived at the office, the meeting had already started. "Good morning. I apologize for arriving late," I said. "You're late, Theodore. What were you doing?" Andrew, the section chief, yelled at me. "I'm terribly sorry. There was a sick person on the train who collapsed, and I was running late because I was helping her," I explained. But Andrew did not believe me. "You have no proof. Even if you claim to be such a good guy, I know if the train was late, you'd have proof of the delay. However, there is no way to know whether you were assisting someone or not. If you don't have proof, I don't trust you." Of course, I don't have any proof, I thought to myself. Only a middle school dropout like you would tell such an obvious lie. "You don't think much, do you?" With that, Andrew started cursing me. "I wonder how you could come up with such a lie. You think you're a hero because you say you help people. Heroes don't suit a guy like you. I wonder why you don't get that." True, I only went to middle school before getting work at the factory. Then, 3 years ago, I joined this company. According to Andrew, who graduated from a prestigious university. I'm just a loser. But I didn't finish high school due to my home situation. I couldn't accept that I had helped someone and was being mocked for it. I don't mind my job because it's gratifying. But I hated Andrew, who always looked down on me like this. And I had to deal with more than simply arrogance and sarcasm. He also harassed me and took credit for my work. Even when he knew I came to work early every morning, he mocked me. I suppose you have to come in early because you are incapable. That's awful, isn't it? He really liked to curse at people. He was the one who warned me not to be late for an important meeting that day, but it was insane of him to disrupt the meeting and abuse me. All the other staff were silently watching the situation. Being dismissed in front of such a big crowd was humiliating and exceedingly uncomfortable. It made me feel as if all the employees were looking down on me because of Andrew. Maybe they were all making fun of me behind my back. It was all Andrew's fault. Work would have been more pleasurable if Andrew hadn't been present. I'd always thought so. 10 days later, the company's anniversary party was held. This party appeared to be conducted every 5 years, and all employees, including the CEO, were obligated to attend. Moreover, married people were supposed to bring their partners. Some attended with their girlfriends, boyfriends, or fiancés even if they were not married. Those with small children were allowed to bring their children as well as part of the welfare program. I'd heard that some colleagues had only come to enjoy wonderful food with their families. But because I was unmarried, I had no choice but to go alone. The roast beef tasted so good. There were so many kinds of drinks to choose from. I was satisfied because the food was wonderful and the free drinks were plentiful. The site was a hotel banquet hall, and there were high-end champagnes and wines. I was wondering what to eat next. I thought about eating pilaf. As I was taking fruit from the platter, I heard a voice from behind. "There you are, Theodore. You came here alone?" I recognized the voice and turned to face Andrew, whom I had detested. He was there with his wife and daughter, who was in college. Andrew's wife and daughter were both stunning and the source of pride for him. "Thank you for always assisting my husband," his wife said, bowing her head. I bowed in return. "No, it's my pleasure," I replied. "I'm sure someone like you can't even find a wife, right? On top of that, you're useless at work and a poor average employee. No way would any woman choose someone like you. Don't you agree?" Andrew sneered. Rather than reprimanding Andrew, his wife and daughter laughed out loud when they heard his comments. I wondered if they all had the same personality. I didn't envy Andrew at all because even though his wife was gorgeous, she made fun of and mocked others. If such a woman approached me and asked me to marry her, I would decline. At that moment, I heard a woman's voice behind me. "I'm his partner. Do you have any problem with that?" I turned around and saw the woman I had saved on the train 10 days earlier. I was surprised. I didn't know what to call her since I didn't ask her name at the time, so I couldn't say anything. Then Andrew looked at her. "Excuse me, Scarlett. What do you mean you are his partner?" Andrew seemed surprised. But the woman called Scarlett did not answer him. She grabbed my hand and pulled it. "I need to talk to you. Do you have a minute?" We exited the dining hall and sat on a sofa in the lobby. "I'm sorry for suddenly barging in. You must have been surprised. But I couldn't help it. What he said was really bothering me, and I couldn't stand still." She dropped her brows as though disturbed. "Andrew called you Scarlett, right? What brought you here?" I asked her. She smiled and said, "I am the ex-wife of the CEO of this company. We divorced 3 years ago, but now I'm involved with the company as an accountant." Our CEO's ex-wife? I didn't know that. I had heard rumors that the CEO was divorced and single. "I see. I'm sorry I took the liberty of calling you my partner." "It's okay. You saved me back there. Thank you." I felt better after seeing Andrew's astonished expression earlier. "Thank you very much for your help the other day." We faced each other and bowed to each other. "So, if you like, we can attend the party as partners now. Is that okay with you?" "Sure, if you don't mind. It's my way of thanking you for the other day." "Oh, that's right. I didn't get your name yet. My name is Theodore Miller." "Nice to meet you then." She stepped up and crossed her arm over mine. Then we went back to the party. Following that, we pretended to be lovers. Andrew was saying, "I can't believe that a guy like Theodore is dating an elite woman like Scarlett." I heard him talking loudly. Then a colleague from the same section asked me, "Where did you meet Scarlett?" I was at a loss for an answer. Then Scarlett quickly opened her mouth. "When I got sick on the train, Theodore, who happened to be in the same car, helped me out." "What?" Are you referring to the last time Theodore was late? So he wasn't making it up? My colleague said, glancing at Andrew, who was a short distance away from us. Andrew appeared to have heard our conversation and looked uncomfortable. Of course, I wouldn't be late and make up a story to cover it up. Wait, Theodore, were you late because of me? I didn't know that. I'm sorry. Oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Scarlett and I talked about many things. It turned out that we both read the industry's business newspapers. We had a lot in common. After the party, we went to an after party, just the two of us. There, we talked about each other's personal lives. I grew up in a single mother household, and my mother became ill, unable to work when I was in junior high. So I graduated from junior high school, obtained a job, and spent a long time in poverty. When I told her this, Scarlett sympathized with me. Even though Scarlett had graduated from a top university, she never looked down on me. She praised me for my efforts and how hard I had worked. I also liked how she didn't boast about her great education or big status, but instead treated me as an equal. By the way, I was wondering if there was something wrong with your body. I'd always wondered why you collapsed on the train that day and if you were all right. No, I just happened to be sick at the time. It wasn't a chronic illness or anything, she responded cheerfully. I was relieved to hear that. Scarlett also told me why she divorced the CEO. She told me that the reason was the CEO's infidelity. Scarlett had gotten fed up with his repeated infidelities and had initiated the separation. Scarlett was granted custody of their junior high school daughter, while the CEO was granted custody of their high school son. Her daughter said she was going to stay at a friend's house today and did not come to the party. I can't believe he cheated on you when you're so beautiful. If I were him, I swear I would never do something like that. I let my drunken momentum get the better of me and said something like that, but I meant it. She smiled happily. After that day, Scarlett and I began to see each other frequently. The CEO later discovered that Andrew had made fun of me being single during the party. I heard the CEO was enraged with Andrew. The CEO was divorced and single. In truth, he was a junior high school graduate who had launched his own business. The president heard about Andrew's terrible comments and was furious. I'm not sure if it was related to that, but Andrew was demoted to a regional branch office. The branch manager was notorious for his strictness, so I assume Andrew is suffering there now. As a result, my section became a really comfortable environment where no one looked down on or harassed me. Since then, I had been wondering what the CEO would say if he found out I was with Scarlett at the party. I was nervous, but the other day when we passed by each other, he tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, take care of Scarlett, okay?" I was impressed by the CEO's big heart. 6 months later, I plucked up the courage to tell Scarlett that I wanted to be in a formal relationship with her. She readily agreed. She also introduced me to her junior high school daughter, who was a really honest and cheerful girl. She agreed to support our relationship. I never thought I would be able to date such a wonderful woman at my age. I am thinking of proposing to her next year. Until I met her, I'd given up on marriage and having children. But now, I might be able to have both a great wife and a cute daughter. How fortunate I am, I thought as I fantasized about marriage. First of all, I want to spend wonderful times with Scarlett and deepen our relationship.